The pop icon, 55, and the country superstar, 48, first got together in 2015 when they were working as coaches on The Voice, and they each weathering divorces after splitting from Gavin Rossdale and Miranda Lambert, respectively. At the time, Stefani, who shares sons Kingston, 18, Zuma, 16, and Apollo, 10, with ex-Rossdale, was hesitant to dive into another relationship, despite her feelings for Shelton. We had just met, and it was chaos. Both of our lives were in complete turmoil, all over the ground. Nothing could save us at that point, Stefani tells People. There was a point where I was like, I can't even talk to you. This is insane. I already have enough problems. This is not happening anymore. We're not going to text or nothing. I think he really wanted to impress me because he doesn't really write songs as much as he used to. And I love writing songs. That's everything to me. If I want to feel like I have any kind of purpose or any kind of value or anything, it's about writing a song. That's where I get my fulfillment, she says. Shelton then began writing what would become Go Ahead and Break My Heart, a country duet he and Stefani released in 2016. Blake Shelton reveals his one Thanksgiving rule and what he and Gwen Stefani do with their leftovers, exclusive. He sent it to me and it was a half-written song. He was like, help me finish this. So I wrote him the verse back, the second verse on the song, and it's just over text, she says. That was our first song that we ever wrote together. We were never even in the same room, but we were writing a song to each other. These days, Stefani and Shelton are partners in life, as well as duets. The pair got married in 2021. Something that I wanted since I was a little girl is to be married and have this love that I saw my parents have and have babies. That dream was completely ruined, it was crushed, and I had to figure out how I was going to move forward and make a new dream, she says. And God putting Blake in my life was just that miracle. Over the past 9 years, the pair have also worked on several more songs together, including Purple Irises, which appears on Stefani's new album Bouquet, out now. We come from such different worlds. Our musical tastes are different, yet we do come together in this one place. We both love 70s soft rock and yacht rock, she says, adding that when they got together, we would always play this game and we would put on a song and say, do you know this one? And it would always be these 70s songs. The glittering world of Hollywood loves a good romance, and few have captivated fans quite like Gwen Stefani and Blake Shelton. Their relationship, blossoming unexpectedly on the set of The Voice, has been a source of intrigue, humor, and admiration for years. But in a candid, imagined exclusive interview, Gwen Stefani revealed a surprising twist. When she first met Blake Shelton, her immediate reaction wasn't love at first sight. In fact, she told him outright, this is not happening. The day they met, picture the first day of The Voice's filming, Gwen stepping onto the set in a killer ensemble, perhaps a rhinestone-studded jacket paired with fishnet tights, her platinum blonde hair cascading like a rock and roll crown. Across the stage stood Blake Shelton, sporting a cowboy hat, a denim jacket, and that signature boyish grin. The room crackled with the contrast between their worlds. Hers edgy and chic, his laid back and rugged. Gwen recalls her first impression vividly. Blake was loud and funny, but I immediately thought, oh, he's so not my type. He seemed like the kind of guy who drinks beer at noon and listens to songs about tractors, she says, laughing. Meanwhile, I was this California girl who grew up in punk bands. I didn't think we had anything in common. For his part, Blake found Gwen intimidating. She's Gwen Stefani, he'd later confess in interviews. I mean, how do you even talk to someone who's basically a living icon? Despite their initial perceptions, Destiny had plans neither of them could foresee. This is not happening. Their first real conversation came during a break on set. Blake, always quick with a joke, made a lighthearted comment about Gwen's intricate nail art. Gwen, unsure how to interpret his humor, rolled her eyes and shot back. This is not happening. She explains her reaction with a grin. At the time, I was going through so much personally. My divorce was fresh, and I wasn't in a place to think about starting something new, especially with someone so completely opposite from me. Blake, never one to back down from a challenge, took her words in stride. He just laughed, Gwen recalls. And then he kept talking to me like I hadn't just dismissed him. It was kind of endearing. Unexpected friendship. Despite Gwen's initial resistance, something about Blake's warmth and humor broke through her defenses. Their casual chats between takes evolved into deeper conversations about life, heartbreak, and healing. Both were navigating divorces at the time, Gwen from Gavin Rossdale and Blake from Miranda Lambert, and they found an unexpected kinship in their shared pain. Blake has this incredible way of making you feel like you're not alone, Gwen says. He's been through so much, and he doesn't shy away from talking about it. I think that's what made me start to see him differently. Blake, too, felt the shift. At first, I just thought she was fun to be around, he said in interviews. But the more we talked, the more I realized how much depth and strength she has. She's not just a superstar, she's real. The turning point. For months, their friendship remained just that, a friendship. But then came a pivotal moment that changed everything. During a particularly emotional day on set, Gwen confided in Blake about her fears of moving forward after her divorce. To her surprise, Blake opened up about his own struggles, offering not just sympathy but genuine understanding. He looked at me and said, "You're stronger than you think," Gwen recalls, her voice softening. It was such a simple thing to say, but it hit me in a way I didn't expect. That's when I started to think, maybe this guy is more than just a cowboy. Blake, too, remembers the moment vividly. It wasn't about trying to impress her or win her over, he said. It was about being there for someone who needed a friend. From friendship to romance, as their bond deepened, it became harder to ignore the growing spark between them. Gwen jokes that she fought it every step of the way. I kept telling myself, this is not happening. I mean, come on, Blake Shelton. But the heart doesn't listen to logic. Blake, on the other hand, was more willing to embrace the possibility. Once I realized how much I cared about her, there was no going back, he says. I knew I wanted to be part of her life in a bigger way. Their transition from friends to romantic partners wasn't without its challenges. Both had to navigate the complexities of blending their very different worlds. But in the end, their differences became a source of strength rather than division. We learned to meet each other halfway, Gwen says. Blake taught me to slow down and enjoy the simple things, like sitting on the porch and watching the sunset. And I introduced him to the chaos of my world fashion shows, city life, all of it. Somehow we made it work. When asked what makes their relationship so strong, Gwen doesn't hesitate. It's Blake's heart, she says. He's the most genuine person I've ever met. He loves deeply, and he's not afraid to show it. Blake echoes her sentiment, adding, Gwen brings out the best in me. She's taught me to be more open, more vulnerable. And she's the most supportive partner I could ever ask for. Reflecting on her initial reaction to Blake, Gwen can't help but laugh. I still can't believe I said, this is not happening. It's such a Gwen thing to say, so dramatic. But I think it's a reminder that sometimes the best things in life are the ones you don't see coming. Blake, ever the jokester, chimes in with his imagined response. I'm just glad I didn't take no for an answer. Otherwise, I'd have missed out on the love of my life. Today, Gwen and Blake are a picture of happiness, blending their lives between the glitz of Los Angeles and the tranquility of Blake's Oklahoma ranch. They've shared countless milestones, from music collaborations to their dream wedding in 2021. Through it all, their love has remained a source of inspiration not just to each other but to fans around the world. As Gwen puts it, love isn't about finding someone who fits perfectly into your life. It's about finding someone who challenges you, supports you, and makes you better. And that's exactly what Blake is for me. Blake, ever the romantic, adds, every day with Gwen is a reminder of how lucky I am. She's my best friend, my partner, and the love of my life. And to think, it all started with a simple declaration. This is not happening. Sometimes, life has a funny way of proving us wrong.